Hello, thank you, and welcome back to Team Business Forum. Today we have a very special interview. Um, we have here with us Jay King. He is, man, he's like a pioneer in the music industry. Let's put it that way. He first started, guys started with Timex Social Club, and they had their hit Rumors, and then later he formed a group called Club Novu,
Nouveau
Nouveau.
Club.
Apologize for that. Club Nouveau. And one of the songs, Lean on Me, won them a Grammy, and just some additional highlights on Jay's career. 11 singles on the billboards, and it's over 10 million albums. So really cool to have Jay with us today. Just learn about the music industry and what he's done. So Jay, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Well, I mean, I'll get straight to it. Like, how did you get into music?
Well, it's a funny thing. I was a songwriter and a rapper
Okay.
for other people. And one of the groups I was writing for was a group called Confunction. I was a big fan of a guy named Michael Cooper, who I grew up in Vallejo, California, and Michael Cooper and Confunction were from Vallejo. And Michael Cooper used to live around the corner from me, and I used to wait for him to come outside so I could wave at him. So I've always loved music, but that was my first introduction to music firsthand. I played trumpet in high school, and but I was a dancer. I really used to pop and stuff, pop and lock and that kind of stuff. And as I got older and started writing more, and then the rap started happening. I got into rap, and I thought I was gonna be a rapper and a dancer. But I wrote this song for Confunction that I thought they were going to use, and they didn't use it, and it was. And I found rumors through some other guys that I knew, and brought the song to Confunction, thought they would do it, and they said no. So I decided I was gonna put it out myself.
Okay.
So really, I started off independently. I started off putting out, rumors. It's still independent. It was on J Records on my label, and I sold 3.5 million copies without a major distributor, without major promotions, without a major plan, without any plan actually, but with a focus and a hard work ethic.
Okay. So
And so
so let's
let's
kind of like fill in the gap. So, you wanted to be a rapper, right? So you wrote this song, they didn't use it. Like, what happened next? Rumors
well,
was something that.
well, I wrote a song called. I was in a group called Frost. That was the rap group. And if you go to YouTube, if you put in Frost and the Battle Beat, it's the only record we ever made. Good reason. Um, but the Battle Beat, oddly enough, is huge. But so we put out a record on Triangle Records with the Battle Beat, and it didn't go anywhere. And so the guys who put that record out, I told them I wanted to start my own record label, and I wanted to do the song Rumors, and they told me I couldn't do it. And these were the guys that were managing me. They told me I couldn't do it, that I was too young, that it takes a lot to be in the music business, and everything they said was no, can't, don't. It was all negatives. So I hung the phone up with them. I didn't like the way they were talking to me. I picked the phone back up, I called them, and told them they was fired. And so then I went to Macola Records, which at that time was the only manufacturer and distributor that we do on the West Coast that did everything. And I paid $1,100 and pressed up my first 1,000 copies of Rumors.
Wow, okay. And talk about some of the promotions that you did. The contacts you had to make, that kind of stuff.
But you know what? We didn't have the internet, we didn't have Skype, we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have all the tools that you guys have today. So it was a tougher deal. I mean, communication across the country was a tough deal. So you had to really concentrate on what was in front of you. And for me, I was in California, and that was the community that was in front of me. And I thought I thought these people would, I'm from California. I thought that the reaction to my record here would be great, and that I would get a lot of support. And I didn't, because I didn't know a lot of the things that you're supposed to do. So, a lot of times we go into this venture, and when I say we, I'm talking about musicians and entrepreneurs in the music business, without a great understanding of the music business. And I had no understanding of how the music business works. So when I went to radio to try to get my record played, I went on the wrong day. Radio ends either on Tuesdays or Thursdays. Um, I went myself instead of having a record representative, somebody who reps my record, who's a radio promotion guy, who knows the ins and outs. And if you're going to do it yourself, you should at least go read a book on it so you understand what to do, what to say, so that you don't make the dumb mistakes that I made. And when I went to retail, same thing. I went and tried to put my records in stores, and this is before consignment. They didn't put consignment product in stores. You had to go through a one stop, and so you had to go through a buyer at the store. Just learning everything I needed to know. I didn't know it, so when it came to me trying to get this record out to the clubs, it was probably the easiest thing that I could do. Getting a DJ to play my record. DJs are struggling. These guys don't make a bunch of money. So if you gave a guy 30 or 40 bucks and asked him to play your record just to see or something, he may do it. So that's what I used to do. I used to go to clubs, give DJs a couple of bucks, buy them a drink, and see what kind of reaction I got from my record. And what I realized was, just if you can have a good song, but if you don't set it up the right way, it won't matter, especially when it's first coming out, because it's a foreign sound to people. It's new. They don't know what it is. And very seldom does a record just catch on just like that. There's no record that you see or that you hear on the radio that just happened. There was a bunch of planning, a bunch of stages prior to the release of that record that makes that record have the impact that it has on the marketplace. And a lot of money, a lot of planning, a lot of effort is in that. And the same has to happen with an independent record. So, what I realized is that I was haphazard with what I was doing. And sometimes people would respond to my record, sometimes they wouldn't.
Okay. So this is with the Timex Social Club, right? Rumors?
Yes.
Okay. And then, so you took all the experience that you had in, the mixtapes you made, right? And
No mixtapes. There was no such thing as mixtapes at that time. There were no tapes at that time. At that time, you were dealing with vinyl. All we dealt with was 12 inches. So what I did was I took my 12-inch and our DJ would play it. And eventually what I did was I would go to clubs and I would sell my 12 inches in front of the club or inside the club. And the DJ would say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Jay King is in the club tonight selling his 12-inch for $3.50. That's $1.50 cheaper than you could buy it if it was in the stores. Support him. He's got his own record company. This is Rumors by the Timex Social Club." And they play my record.
And that's how it started, right?
That's how Street Team started. We started what you guys call street teams, because what we used to do is go to clubs, and that's how we would hustle. We would get, so you bring 112 inches, 212 inches, and you sell them right there at the club. But you do all the promotions and marketing right there at the club. Always have a pretty girl with you and a guy. And one guy and one girl, part of your team, you're gonna sell more 12 inches, or in this case, more CDs than you ever sold. If you have two knucklehead guys, it don't work.
Love it, Jay. I love it. I love it. I love the hustle, man. I love it. So, tell us what happened, when you formed Club Nouveau.
Club Nouveau. They say Nouveau.
Nouveau.
Okay, so Timex Social Club was a group that I produced. They were on my record label. I helped create the sound for Timex Social Club. And then they signed a contract with someone else. Again, this is inexperience, because I didn't have an agreement with these guys. We were friends. So I figured, that once we did get to the point where we had to get an agreement signed, they balked at the idea of it, and then they went and signed an agreement with someone else. So I had all these songs and ideas that I'd written for Timex Social Club, and they were no longer with me, so I had to keep moving. So I formed Club Nouveau with myself, Valerie Watson, Samuel Prater, Denzel Foster, and Thomas McElroy.
Okay.
And all the songs that we were going to do for Timex Social Club, we did for Club Nouveau.
Okay. So, you took your experience from Timex Social Club, right? So you talked about the setting up, setting the stage right for a new song to be successful, right? Tell us some of the steps that you took to make sure that it has the impact that it does.
First of all, you have to for you all, and for what I did then and what you guys do today, it's kind of different, because the marketplace is so much more sophisticated. You guys have so many tools in front of you. So you got YouTube, you got social media, you've got Moses Media, where they can send product out to all the DJs with the click of a button and a MP3. You have to really be studied up. And most people that are doing labels today, which is amazing and just alarming to me, they don't study. It's like trying to play basketball and not know the rules. Or and everybody thinks they're going to have a hit record. I've never met anybody yet, in 25 years of doing this, I've never met anyone who walked up to me and said, "Hey man, come listen to this piece of crap I made." You know, everybody who listens to their music thinks they got the #1 record, and that record is better than everybody's on the radio. And they might have a #1 record, but they don't have any planning in front of them. So you have to do everything. It's not even so much what I think, it's what you think as an individual. You know, write down everything you think needs to happen for a record. You want to be on the radio? How do you get on the radio? You want to be on TV? How do you get on TV? You want to be on MTV? How do you get on MTV? You want to be on BET? How do you get on BET? You want to be popular over the internet? How do you get popular over the internet? You can go to Google and you can ask these questions of Google or Bing, and the answers will pop up. It's like cheating on a test. And you guys are too lazy to cheat.
Well said, Jay. Well said. So, it's been a while since you have, now you coming out with a new album. Tell us about that.
Well, because first of all, you got to know this. As you make records, and when I was young, making a record was essential for me. Making a hit record was job one, because hit records is what makes you popular. Once you've had a number of hit records, it's the next crop of young people coming in, and you got to move to the second part of your stage, which is solidifying yourself as a commodity and as a brand, and making products still, but making sure your live show is in order.
Okay.
So that you can continue to work, because you go from making hit records to performing hit records to living off of hit records, because that's where your royalty comes from. So if you did the right thing in the beginning of your career, you did the right thing in the middle of your career, at the end of your career, you won't struggle, because everything that you've done in the first 2 phases of your career will continue to feed you in the twilight of your career. So for us, it's the same. It's been a long time since we made records, because we have families now. We were kids when we started, and then you go from being kids to having kids, and kids require a lot of attention. We're non-drinkers, non-smokers, non-druggers, non-clubbers. Our focus is our job. So, we haven't made a record in a long time, but now it's time for us to make a record. We want to work more. We want to get on the road more. Our kids are older now, and and we think we listen to the music and say, you know what? A lot of things that we did, a lot of sounds that we use, people are using today. People are doing today. So as long as we make relevant music, and and I don't know if you or somebody in your age demographic is going to buy a record, but somebody's going to buy a record now because of technology. We're able to sniper attack our audience, and that's the beauty in what's happening now. Technology has made it where maybe 25 and under won't buy my record, but 25 and older will.
Right.
So I'll hit the 25 and older crowd, and it might trickle down to the 25 and under crowd. Look what happened with Carlos Santana. So it's been since '95 that we've made a record. So we're excited about the record. It's called Consciousness, and we're looking forward to seeing what it does in the marketplace.
Okay, so obviously things, the way a record is promoted has changed. What are you guys using now with the new technology that you're doing to promote the record?
The same thing you guys are using. We're going to use YouTube. We're going to use the social media. We're going to use Twitter. We're going to use every avenue that's out there that's free. I do a radio show every Monday and Wednesday night on the music business from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's www.blogtalkradio.com / JAY-KING. If anybody wants to listen on their computer, they can use that address. If they want to use their phones, they can just call in at 347-205-9366. And you can listen to this show or just on your handheld phone. And tonight I'm talking about, how to make a record, how to promote a record for under $5,000. Because there's so much out here, there's so much information out here, and there's so many things that you all can do that, so I don't just talk about this stuff, I actually apply it. I apply it to my group, I apply it to my solo records, and I give my friends information and hope that they apply the same things. You guys have to remember one thing. If you sell 1 million records in the United States, or 1 million CDs in the United States, or 1 million downloads in the United States, what that means is 308 million people did not buy your record, did not download or purchase. That means that you have enough people out there that there's no competition. We can never be in competition with each other. What you can do, so you should give information, and you should seek information from your friends, and you guys should share information. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to share information. We're going to cross-pollinate as much as we can.
Okay.
And make this record happen for ourselves.
Okay. So your new album, like where is the inspiration coming from, like for your songs and stuff like that?
I look at, right now for the consciousness album, I look at the world. I look at what the world is, and it really is inspiring me to write the things that I write, both the poignant things and the hopeful.